Chapter 34. Chains of the Past. Vere's world swam back into focus like a blade dragged through mud, slow, gritty, and edged with pain. His eyelids fluttered heavy as lead, the haze of unconsciousness clinging to him like a bad fever. A dull throb pulsed in his skull, radiating down to his chest where bandages wrapped tight around ribs that felt like they'd been hammered by a smith's mallet. He shifted, wincing, the rough blanket beneath him scratching his skin. A bed. Not the jungle floor, not the cold stone of some ruin. His hand twitched toward his belt, empty, no blades. Panic flickered, sharp and familiar, cutting through the fog. He forced his eyes open, the dim light stabbing like needles. Iron bars loomed across from him, rusted and unyielding, framing a dank corridor lit by sputtering torches. A prison cell. The air reeked of piss, mold and old blood, the walls slick with condensation that dripped like tears. Chains dangled from the ceiling, unused but threatening. And a bucket in the corner served as a shitter. As Vere's jaw tightened, memories crashing back, the chaos in bitter root, the mayor's bloated corpse, the fight with Jans Rinso and his goons, blades clashing, arrows whistling, Jans's unerring strikes as Vere went down, blood pooling from a gut wound. Captured along with Zariel, Liss and Arla, the kid, Dylan, lost in the fray, maybe dead in the river. A shadow moved beyond the bars, a guard, burly and scarred, his armor dented Valorian steel. The man peered in, eyes widening. He's awake! The bastard's finally up. Footsteps echoed down the hall, measured and silent, like a predator gliding through mist. Vere pushed himself upright, ignoring the fire in his side, his grey eyes cold as flint. He scanned the cell, no weapons, no escape route obvious, predictable. The door rattled, keys jangling, and it swung open with a groan. In glided Jans Rinso, a figure of haunting lethality, tall and lean as a drawn sword, his presence filling the cell like a ghost of vengeance. Handsome, in a severe, unreadable way, with sharp features framed by close-cropped dark hair streaked with silver, his eyes, deep, piercing voids, saw through lies and weaknesses alike. He moved with the fluid composure of a philosopher contemplating eternity, yet every step carried the promise of unmatched swordplay, precise, terrifyingly elegant, honed over decades as a former war monk turned executioner for hire. Now, as head of the Shadow Dragon's assassin guild, his blade was not just a weapon, it was his language, his legacy, and his curse, sheathed at his side in a simple scabbard that belied its deadly whisper. He wore a dark tunic of supple leather, unadorned save for subtle guild runes that caught the torchlight, his calm exterior masking the weight of a brutal past. Jans dragged a wooden chair from the corridor, setting it down with deliberate grace near Vere's bed, and sat, legs crossed, like a scholar, about to dissect a text or a soul. "We almost lost you there, old friend," Jans said, his voice eloquent and smooth, laced with a sarcasm as sharp as his blade. "Apparently you lost quite a lot of blood. Stabbed and beaten, hell, you're a walking corpse. But you never knew when to quit, did you? That's why I like you, Vere. You're predictable as a storm in the spires." Vere grunted, leaning back against the wall, his scarred face impassive. "Jans, slumming it in a backwater jail now?" Jans's lips curved in a faint, unreadable smile, leaning forward with elbows on his knees, his piercing eyes locking onto Vere's like a blade, poised at the throat. "Always the charmer. No, I'm here on special business. You, actually. But let's cut the bullshit. I spoke to the elf. Zariel, was it? Slippery little tree hugger. It only took threatening the life of the little one, that scrawny girl with the dead eyes, and he sang like a fucking bird. Told us almost everything we needed to know." Vere's eyes narrowed, a flicker of something dark crossing his features. "Liss. the star-shatter wreck they'd pulled from Bitter Root. "You touch her?" "Relax." Jans waved a hand dismissively, his gesture fluid and precise. "She's fine, for now. The boy with the starry scars, he's not from our world. Weak as a kitten, but somehow tied to Kalith and Vaughn themselves. God's plaything, eh? You were lucky I found you when I did, Ver. Hanging around that kid, you're in great danger. Think about it for a moment. All the events since you fished him out of the forest, outside that old castle. Beasts going into a frenzy, tearing at you like you were bait. Odd happenings, strange luck that twists into curses. The boy's a magnet for evil, old friend. Drags it with him like a plague." Ver's mind raced, piecing it together. The shadow wolves, storm beasts, thorn skulls. Coincidence? Or something more? He kept his face blank. "We set the elf free with the two girls," Jans continued, his tone measured, almost philosophical. "Zariel was just your guide through the Bloodwild. We believed him on that, and yet, no point wasting steel on a wood rat and a couple of strays. But someone has to pay for the murder of a mayor. Bitter Root's fat pig might have been scum, but he was Elth's scum. Law's the law." Ver snorted, a harsh laugh escaping. "Yeah, the murder of a freaking pedophile. That bastard had it coming, raping kids in his cellar. I'd bring him back to life just to do it again slower." Jans shrugged unfazed, his eyes gleaming with cold calculation. "Morals are for peasants, Ver. Up here it's politics. Elth's court is buzzing about this star-scarred outsider. Prophecies. God's wrath. The Starshrine, pulsing like it's got a heartbeat. We need him. Or his head. Tell me where the boy's going, and this all goes away. You walk free, no questions." Ver met his gaze, unblinking. "The boy's dead. Saw it with my own eyes, lost in the fight, probably bled out in the dirt." Jans's faint smile widened, leaning back in the chair with a creak, his posture relaxed yet coiled, ready to strike. "Come now, my old friend, you're sharper than that. You know the boy survived the chaos. Those scars don't let him die easy. I went through your things while you were out. Coin purse lighter than a whore's promise. I know why you're on the run, Ver. Word gets out that Ver, the betrayer of the Night Vale Order, is still breathing. They'll send everything they have after you, assassins, trackers, maybe even some star cult fanatics for fun. You won't hide long, but I can help. Safe passage out of Valoria, a fat bag of gold, to disappear wherever you want. Start over, no more looking over your shoulder." Ver stared at the floor, the cell's damp stone blurring as thoughts churned. The kid, Dylan, had been a pathetic wreck at first, soft-bellied and whining, but Erendor had sharpened him, or maybe those scars had. And yeah, trouble followed him like a shadow. Wolves, marrow vipers. Was Jans right? Did the boy drag doom with him? Ver thought of his own betrayals. The Night Vale's code shattered, a lover's blood on his hands, the Order's hounds forever on his trail. Maybe cutting loose was smart. Survival first, always. The silence stretched, Jans waiting patiently like a spider in its web. Finally Ver exhaled, his voice low and gravelly. "Stormspire. They were trying to get to Zorath in the Stormspire. Mad wizards supposed to know world-walking secrets. Kid wanted home." Jans's eyes lit up, a genuine but fleeting smile cracking his unreadable facade as he stood, clapping Ver on the shoulder, firm but without excess force. "Smart, man. Knew you'd see reason. I'll get the paperwork started. Rest up. You look like shit." He glided out, the door clanging shut behind him, the guard's footsteps fading. Ver lay back, staring at the ceiling, a knot of unease twisting in his gut. Betrayal tasted like ash, familiar as an old scar. But if the kid was a walking curse, maybe it was mercy, or just another lie he told himself to sleep at night. The cell's drip echoed, a mocking rhythm, as Erendor's shadows closed in tighter.